All right, you're good.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for coming. My name is Manal Ayesh. I'm here from Access. I work on the substance use disorder prevention team. And today we're going to be talking about tobacco use disorder and the life of e-cigarettes or electronic cigarettes. So what we're going to cover in the presentation today, we're going to learn what an e-cigarette is, what vape is, and ENDS. Also, what is the tobacco use disorder? We're going to learn what that is. Also, we're going to talk about Michigan Youth Tobacco Survey that's done by the MDHHS. Also, we're going to talk a little about our Access Tobacco Prevention Program. If you guys have any questions, just feel free to ask. So what is tobacco use disorder? So it is a condition where a person becomes addicted to nicotine. So nicotine is the most or the highest addictive chemical and substance out there. It's found in cigarettes, vapes, and hookah. A lot of people think that hookah is less addicting or vapes are less addicting. It's actually the opposite. Vapes are the most addicting tobacco product out there. Why? Because they have also with the nicotine, it has a very high amount of nicotine there, and it has a lot of toxic chemicals as well. So, how to know what the tobacco use disorder? If you want to know, like a person is actually suffering or experiencing a tobacco use disorder, you can check if they have like two or more of these symptoms, which is they use more tobacco than intended. Okay, they can't stay. For example, they can't stay without their cigarettes. They can't stay without their vapes. Um, they use it like in they use more than like for example a pack of cigarette a day. Okay, they're always like using their vapes. They're taking more puffs than um they should be, but they're taking a lot. They're consuming a lot. Also, they try to quit, but they can't. So they fail every time that they try to quit vaping or smoking. Also, they spend a lot of time using or getting tobacco. So you see them like the only thing they're thinking of is how am I going to get my cigarettes? How am I going to get my vapes? I'm out of vape, and or they're out of vape and they have to go purchase. So they don't stay without. Also, they get strong cravings for, of course, for the nicotine and the vapes and the cigarettes. Um, and usually, like, they can't do anything in their lives. For example, if they're students, if they're youth, even adults, they can't do anything in their daily routines or daily life without smoking or without vaping and taking any of the nicotine products or the tobacco products. Also, they will be staying away, for example, from any social um, gathering or social relationships just because they want to smoke and they want to, for example, they use it in dangerous situations. So even if they're sick, um, they still want to vape and they still want to smoke cigarettes. So they don't care like what their doctor is gonna say. Okay, they just want to even if their doctor tell them like you guys have like for that person you have a very uh, like your lungs, you're getting sick. You have to stop smoking. They don't listen and they just want to vape and smoke. And also they need more, so they start developing tolerance to nicotine or to tobacco. So they need even more and more smoking and nicotine. And also, they experience withdrawal symptoms. So how the withdrawal symptom goes, first of all, so they start smoking the cigarettes, okay? They satisfy their cravings, and then the nicotine wears off, so there's no nicotine in their body, and then they go ahead, they experience the withdrawal symptom, and then they go ahead back to smoke again, and then satisfy cravings. The nicotine goes away or wears off, and then they feel like they're anxious, they're tired, no energy, very moody, and that's how the cycle goes. And that's what withdrawal symptom is. So here we have some myths and realities, or myths and facts about the tobacco use disorder. So um, some of the myths, it happens because of lack of willpower or self-discipline. This is not true. So it affects children in all abilities. Okay, so you'll say, oh, this kid, he's very smart, he's very strong, he's very confident. How did he get into smoking? Because it can be because of peer pressure, right? His friends can tell him like, hey, you're only book smart. Why aren't you like us, cool and try to smoke? So this is, he will start thinking that, okay, I want to be like them. So he gets pressured and then starts smoking. Also, another myth, only kids from poor backgrounds smoke. This is not true. Uh, I'm sorry.
It needs money.
Right. It does need money. That is true. It affects children from all social and economic groups. So, poor kids, rich kids, they, if they get peer pressured, um, they, because also the vapes, we will see that they make the vapes not that highly expensive. Some of them can be very affordable because they want the kids or the students, the school students to start vaping, okay, at young ages. Okay, so they know that, for example, like a 12 or a 13-year-old, they don't have $100 every week, right? So they make it very affordable. It can be like 10 to 15 bucks or even lower than that. Okay, so also another myth, it will destroy a family. So it's not true. So the fact, many young people have built happy, fulfilling lives after being treated for substances such as um, tobacco use disorder. Also, another myth, once a person gets involved with substances, they will never succeed in life. This is also not true because, as we said, many of the people, after they quit, they, so they can be smoking and of course like be engaging in the community, but if they're addicted and with the tobacco use disorders, they're going to be, they can't function without smoking again, okay, because they will experience the withdrawal symptoms. Only children who have no talents or academic potential use any type of substances. This is not true. The right support from therapists, they can get support from therapists. They can reach out to My Life Might Quit. There's a lot of community resources that can help with helping them uh, quit vaping or quit smoking any tobacco products. So why does tobacco use disorder have a new trend called ENDS? So ENDS stands for electronic nicotine delivery systems, um, which is electronic cigarettes. Okay, I'm going to correct it here. Um, so the electronic cigarettes have become the trend among the youth for several reasons. Of course, the youth he's in school, right, or the student he's in school, he can't go outside and light up a cigarette, right, and then use a little bit of it and throw it away. So what they do is they sneak it in school. It's a device. They can turn on the battery. Okay, they have it. They can hide it in their pockets. Unfortunately, the tobacco companies or the tobacco companies, what they do, they make it anything that the students or the kids can hide in school. So they make it like the shape as a highlighter, as a pen, as a smartwatch, as also we'll see they have them like smart devices. It can look like a phone. Okay, it can look like a smartwatch. Most of their times in school. That's why the companies they want to make money. So how can they do? They study the students, they study the kids, they study the youth. Okay. Also, on top of that, they added so many flavors. So they have more than 15,000 flavors out there. And we tell the students every time, what is the like they any flavor they think of, they made it for them in the bake. Okay, this is how scary it is. So as we said, it's easy to hide. There's a lot of flavors. Okay, the most or the number one flavor the students or the youth like is the bubblegum flavor. Okay, also because of peer pressure, stress relief, and coping mechanism. Unfortunately, they think that it's the easiest way to cope with stress. Um, Even though we know and we're trying to teach them that um, the smoking or vaping, it actually increases the amount of stress. So it makes them more stressed out, especially after they get addicted to it. Okay? Maybe at first, it starts like if they try it at first time, they will get that dopamine. When the dopamine gets high in their system or in their body, they will feel like because dopamine is the happy hormone, right? So the nicotine triggers the brain into making the dopamine. So they will feel like they got rewarded. Okay, they feel happy. So okay, let's try it again. They go ahead and they try the cigarettes again or the vapes again. And maybe the second time they will feel the same, they will feel happier. But every time they try, by the third time, since the vapes have very high amount of nicotine, they get addicted very quickly.
بتصير اصلا سلوكي مش بس ادمان بصير سلوك انساني
صح
انه ما
صحيح
بيرتاح هلا اذا
صحيح. هلا احنا بنحكي للستودنتس وللطلاب انه انتوا حتى ما تجيبوا قلم مثلا وتحطوا انه على اساس انه انتوا عم بتدخنوا لانه انت هاي بتصير عاده. It becomes a habit. Okay, you need something like you have to like hold. Exactly. And when you tell them, they'll say, "Oh, I need something like to hold, like in my hands. That's why I'm vaping." It's not true. You can do so many other things, right?
انا بدخن
Okay.
كثير ثلاثة او اثنين بالنهار بس انا بدخن مش لاني ولا بحب الحرام ولا بحب صارت مجرد عادة
عادة. هي هاي لأنه بتبلش كعادة وبعد العادة بتصير عند الواحد إدمان. Okay. Also, marketing and retail strategies. So with their marketing on social media, they advertise on social media. They'll tell them, okay, if you guys, for example, tag specific amount of friends on this advertisement or on this ad for vapes, okay, you will be able to get into like uh, like get like Xbox, okay, or get like a PlayStation. So the kids will go like, oh, that's cool. Let's go. We don't want the, for example, they'll say, I don't want the vape, but I want the Xbox. So they will tag the friends. So it will go to more to other youth that they want. They go and they purchase the vape. So it's a marketing strategy. So as we said, the ends, so they're the electronic nicotine delivery systems. So here we have some of them, like some of them here. This is a disposable electronic cigarette. So as you see, it looks exactly like the cigarette, okay, but it's an electronic one, okay. This one right here, this is a rechargeable electronic cigarette. So people can charge it. They can charge the battery for it, okay. It's rechargeable. These people can put they can buy like the nicotine, the liquid nicotine, and put it in these the tanks or the mods. So these they can make like more smoke. They might have like more in the cartridges. They might have like a bigger amount of nicotine or the vape juice. Okay, they call it vape juice. Why do they call it vape juice? Because when they say vape juice, it's more appealing to the kids, more appealing to the youth. They will not say vape chemical, for example, because if you tell your son or your daughter, here, would you like to drink this chemical as a, let's say, for example, as a medicine? You'll say, do you want to drink this chemical? It's a medicine. They'll tell you no chemicals, right? But what they do is they tell them, would you like to try this vape juice? So juice sounds more appealing. They'll say, yes, we want to try juice, right? So this is why they call it vape juice. So here, this is the nicotine. Okay, this is the vape juice. Okay, or this is the vape chemical. This is the vape liquid, right? So what does it have? This is the vape. So it contains of three simple parts: the mouthpiece, also the heating element right here, okay, and the battery. Okay, so they press on the battery, they press on the button, the battery turns on, it starts heating up the liquid, which is this one is inside here. So this liquid is going to be inside here, okay, it will heat it up, okay, and then they start smoking it and giving them the aerosol. So electronic cigarettes produces aerosol. It does not produce steam. Okay. So what's the aerosol? Like the hairspray. Okay. So so what happens is this can is pressured, right? It's pressurized. Um, so it can release anything like it can be like a liquid or powder, but it gets out as a mist, as a fine mist. Okay. But the chemical that's released can stay in the air and can stay on the surfaces. Okay. So it's still a chemical. It's releasing chemical. So when you are around someone that's smoking or vaping, this is about vaping. So have you guys heard of secondhand smoke? Yeah. Okay. So secondhand smoke is, for example, you are around people that are smoking, vaping, or using argila, right? So you're breathing that toxic air. How long right? Does it stay in the air? So as long as you smell it, it's still there. Yes. So when you smell it on the furniture, awala lafsh, had bikun third hand smoking. So you enter a room and then you smell like someone was smoking here. Okay. Or this curtain, it smells like someone was smoking. This furniture or in a car, for example. Or on the clothes, that's true. So that is third hand smoking. So the chemical, the nicotine is there, is on the surface. Okay. But the second hand smoking is when you're breathing it, it's in the air and you're breathing it. Okay. There is secondhand aerosol smoking. Okay, and that's very bad. So you think, or people think, oh, vaping, it's less, it doesn't smell bad. No, the chemical is there. This, yes, this is the vapes and the electronic cigarettes are the most dangerous nicotine or tobacco product. That's because it has toxic chemicals there. Okay, here I want you guys to see these. Um, these are what they call smart devices or smart vapes. Okay, they make it to look like a smartwatch. They make it to look like a smartphone. Oh, here's a smartphone. This one here, it has apps for them to play. Wow. So this is how they trick the students. So we know our kids, they love technology, right? They love gaming, technology, smart devices, right? This is how they're getting to them. Okay. Also here, they can even download apps on their devices. Okay. It will remind them. Okay, you are 5 minutes late from taking your fifth puff, for example. Okay. And you use their phone. Yes. They're using their phone. Yes, you think that they're using their phone. That's the issue. Um, some parents don't even know that this is a vape. It's not a smartphone. Wow. Some parents will say, I saw that highlighter, for example, with my son, and I thought it's a marker. It's a highlighter. It's actually a vape. Okay. So actually, and also it contains games, so they get them more and more addicted. Yes. So every time they play, they can get like, for example, another vape. So okay, here we have a brand called Jewel. Jewel. So Jewel is actually one of the biggest um, tobacco company or vape company. It's actually the first one. Okay. Um, so here we have a study from the MDHHS or Michigan Youth Tobacco Survey. So this is the juice playbook. So the step one, how they do it, they lure the kids with sweet flavors. Okay, they have so many flavors. As we said, uh, they made over 15,000 flavors. Okay, of vapes. Um, Also, the second one or the second step, they hook kids with massive doses of nicotine. Okay, so the vapes, they have higher amount of nicotine than the hookah, than the cigarettes. Okay, so they even put like, if for example, if you want to buy a vape that's cost for example $20, okay, it will not have the amount of nicotine or the amount of puffs that a device that costs $50, for example. Okay, so they will start thinking, oh, I will go get the $50. Okay. Also here, with so many advertising on social media, okay, a lot of the influencers, unfortunately, they advertise for vapes. Okay, they can see their favorite influencers vaping, for example, or even in some movies, they will see that they will see like youths are vaping. Okay, so this is how they want them to get used to thinking that this is normal. Okay, when they see it in movies, when they hear like that they're watching like a music clip or they're listening to music, a lot of them they talk about vaping. They talk about smoking, and when they see their favorite influencer vaping or smoking, they'll say, "Oh, it looks healthy." So and he vapes, right? This is also going to affect them, and they start thinking that it might be something that's something else that's not going to. Okay, so step four, they team up with big tobacco. So the tool is actually a Marlboro brand. Okay, so every regular cigarette brand has their own vape brand. Okay, so again here, the Marlboro, they have the juice. Okay. Um, so that's a giant maker of Marlboro cigarettes invested $12.8 billion in Juul. So this is a crazy amount of money. Okay, let's check five. So the tobacco companies and the vaping companies, they actually fight all the bans that the government or for example, like we try to go like say like how bad it is, right? Um, they can invest their own money and a lot of amount of money to fight any ban that's out there for the maintenance products and for the bakes, okay, and the flavors. So here we have a survey. So it's a Michigan Youth Tobacco Survey that was made in 2023 by the MDHHS office or the Michigan Health and Human Services. So the tobacco use in teens. Uh, so the teens are at higher risk of nicotine dependence and tobacco use disorders because of their developing brain. Okay, so do you guys know at what age the human brain fully develops? No, very close. No, 25. Yes. So so it's 25 for both. Yeah, it's 25 for both. So if they start smoking or vaping before the age of 25, that will affect the brain chemistry, okay, their brain development. That will also affect their IQ, okay? That's why we tell them do not start smoking before the age of 25, okay, because that is not good for them, of course. If they start before the age of 25, they will get addicted very quickly, especially if they start vaping because of the highly amount of chemicals, toxic chemicals that's in the vapes. Okay. By the way, the nicotine in the tobacco products is the mostly and the most addicting chemical like nationwide. Okay, even like worldwide. Like it's worldwide. Okay, so they can get addicted to nicotine faster than any other chemical. Why? Because it takes only 3 seconds. Okay, actually no, sorry, 7 seconds for the nicotine to reach their brain. Okay, so they will take it. It will go to reach their blood. It will take 7 seconds. For example, if you guys want to take a medicine, if you have a headache, okay, it will take longer than 7 seconds for your headache after like you take a pain reliever. It will take longer time. It needs at least like 5 minutes, right, for your pain to go away. For the nicotine, it takes 7 seconds to reach the blood. This is how highly addicting it is. Okay, that's why they get addicted very quickly. So we also have a study for that was made in 2024. So one out of every 25 middle schooler students um, reported using electronic cigarettes. That was in 2024, so in the past 30 days. Okay, which is it's a high number when it's used in schools. Middle schoolers. Yes, so middle schoolers, they're like up to eighth grade. They're still young. They're not supposed to be vaping or smoking, right? They're supposed to be learning, not smoking. Um, Also, one out of every 13 high schooler reported using electronic cigarettes in the past 30 days. That was in 2024, which is also, this is a big number. Okay. Imagine you put like, there's 13 kids in class. You ask who's smoking. One out of those 13 will say, oh, I smoke. Okay. Or I vape. Okay. This is a lot. This is school, right? So always remember, smoking is the number one preventable death. So, um, is the number one preventable cause of death in the USA. It kills over 490,000 people per year. Okay, and it's preventable. They can stop smoking, stop vaping, or quit smoking and quit vaping, and they can save their lives. Okay. Also, we have another study here. Um, so this study shows the students who have used the tobacco products, how it affected them, like with their education, with their daily life routines. So 30.7% are having difficulties with concentrating and with memory issues, okay, and decision making. Also, 31.4% want to use electronic cigarettes 5 minutes after waking up. Okay, so if they can't open their eyes after they wake up in the morning, they can't open their eyes, they can't do anything before vaping. They're depending on tobacco. They're depending on vaping. Okay, this is how it's affecting their daily life routine. Also, 53% feel restless if they do not use electronic cigarettes. Okay, you see that they can't control their emotions. They can't think. They're always anxious. Okay, they're always they have no energy. Why? Because they didn't vape or they didn't smoke. They need that nicotine in their system. Um, so also they made another study and they asked them in that survey, how old were you when you started smoking or vaping? Or when they started, how old were they when they first tried using their electronic cigarettes or their vape? So 55% um, were 13 years or earlier. So imagine 13 years or earlier, 55% in schools. That's a lot. Uh, 14 years old, they started when they were 14, 23%. So look, the number every time, like when you go up with the number, like let's say 18 years, you ask them, like for example, um, you ask them, when did you start smoking? Okay, 3% only started when they were 17. This is crazy. So they started when they were very young, 13 or before. That's crazy. This is very scary. This is how you see that their techniques, their marketing techniques, and also their flavors are actually going and getting these like tricking and uh, making these kids to actually purchase the base and smoke more. So we have some data also, some Michigan data about the electronic nicotine delivery systems in youth. So in Michigan, there's more youth using ends than nationwide. Imagine that Michigan youth smoke, vape, or they vape and they use electronic cigarettes more than any country in the world. Okay? No wonder why we have this amount or these amounts of vape shops and tobacco shops, right?
Most Arabic population.
Okay,
In the US, in the US.
okay, but it's not only Yeah, but it's not only that Arab people only vape. It's not only Arab people that vape. There's a lot of other cultures, a lot of other nationalities that they do smoke. Um, but unfortunately, we have a lot of Arab that think that it's a culture thing to vape or to smoke. Unfortunately. Okay, so also highest use tobacco products with higher use among female than males. So the females, they vape more than the males.
Okay.
They vape more than males. Yes. Why? They think that it's cleaner. They have some very attractive vape devices out there. More elegant. That's what they think. Yes. They unfortunately they think that. Yes. Because it's the way it's one way of the marketing strategies. Okay. They will advertise for it as it's a female device, for example. Okay. You don't want to smell bad, right?
Yeah.
They tell, oh, you don't want to smell bad? Then go ahead and vape. You don't want your fingers to stain? Then go ahead and vape. This is cleaner and more elegant to you. These are the marketing techniques. This is how they trick them. Okay. And also they put like bubble gum, right? They put all these like fruity flavors. It smells good. It looks good. So they get tricked into trying them. And as we said, after they try them, they're very highly addicted. So they will get addicted to them. Most common initiation age for youth is 13 or younger, as we said. I can't imagine that a child, I heard it in one of the schools. I asked the student, how old were you when you started vaping or smoking? And he said that he was 13, 13 years old. Um, so youth typically receive devices from social contacts. We know that in Michigan, they have to be 21 or older to purchase any tobacco product or any nicotine product. Um,
Even the lighter.
yes.
Sometimes I was purchasing a lighter and so they can check my ID.
Oh,
It has to be about more than 21 to purchase the lighter.
oh, I didn't know about that.
I can guess. Yeah, no, I'm in the scan. So I can check.
Oh, wow.
I,
Even from a regular store?
yes, so she came and checked my ID and then scan it.
Oh, wow. So yeah, they have to check their IDs. They have to be 21 or older to be able to purchase any tobacco product. So how do they get their devices, their nicotine devices or their vapes? They can, for example, take it like from their parents at home, or they have like an older sibling that can give it to them. They have, for example, an older friend can buy it for them and give it to them. And some people they actually don't think about like anyone or any other person's health. So as long as you give them the money, they will do anything. So that's also another issue uh, with the youth. Additionally, there is 98% success rate of purchasing pens from tobacco retailers in Michigan. Um, so so there's a lot of the stores or the tobacco shops. They must have the Michigan tobacco law posted and visible to the customers. Okay, so they have to check their ID and they have to see that there's a sign that you have to your birthday or your birth year must be 2005 or before to be able to purchase a tobacco product. So if you guys go like to any like shop around or a gas station, you guys will see the DHHS sign out there that says you have to be your birth year must be 2005 or before. So the nicotine addiction can negatively impact youth mental health. This is how it affects. This is why we say do not smoke. Like for the youth, not to smoke before the age of 25 because it does affect their mental health. Um, Most electronic cigarettes contain nicotine. which causes addiction. That's what we've been saying, and it may harm their brain development and so the need to continue tobacco product use among the youth. And when they grow up and they become adults, they will switch, for example, to cigarettes or cigars or to uh, a hookah. Okay. So how can you talk to your child, for example, or to a student if they are if they are smoking and they'll tell you that they can't quit, they actually can't do anything. So if they keep saying that they're weak, they can't quit, you have to make sure that they say and they keep repeating the affirmation that they are strong, they will feel better after this urge passes. So they'll say, okay, I'm weak, I'm very addicted, I can't stop vaping, it's so hard. No, you can, okay? You can. It's just an urge that's gonna pass. You can try, and you're gonna stop, you're gonna quit it, okay? Um, so this is just a habit, and my difficulties quitting make me a failure. So if they tried, for example, if they tried to quit in the past and they failed, they will say that they can't do it. Okay, they tried before and they're gonna keep failing. It's not true. They can always try. Okay, maybe that they can say that I have complicated addiction that needs a lot of attention to address. They maybe have to like reach out to their doctors. They have to reach out and get more and extra help. Okay. So this is the my life my quit. This is how we can help them if they want to quit vaping or they want to quit smoking. So they can prepare a quit plan. Okay. They can establish a quit date. They can we have the My Life My Quit. It's from the MDHHS. They can text them. Okay, it's a number right here. So teens from the age of 13 to 17 years old can make a quit plan for free. Okay, through the app called My Life My Quit. They can text this number. They can text Start My Quit to 36072. They don't have to give their personal information. Okay, they can just help them like by texting. Okay, if they feel like they want to call, they can go ahead and call. Okay, if they don't want anyone like if they feel more comfortable by texting, they can text and no one has to know who are they talking to. Okay, or his personal personal information. They can also go on the website and they can download the My Life My Quit app. Okay. So at Access, we have the Access Tobacco Prevention Program. So what we do, we go to middle schools and we teach Bodville life skills. So what Bodville life skills, this is one of the things that we do, the prevention team. So what we do is we teach them life skills and social skills, okay? How to stand up for themselves against peer pressure, okay? How to be able to communicate, okay, with others. They'll say like, no, I don't want to smoke. I don't want to, you're not going to pressure me to smoke, for example, okay? I have asthma. Smoke or cigarettes does affect my health, okay? Um, Also, decision making, communication, how to deal with peer pressure, how to cope with their emotions, how to cope with anxiety, with stress. Okay, we teach them like that there's healthy ways of dealing with stress and anxiety and other emotions. Okay, don't say that I smoke or I vape because I want to cope with my stress. No, there's other healthy ways that you can cope with stress than smoking and vaping. So it's an evidence-based program that help them resist drugs, alcohol, and other risky behaviors. We also have the ASAP Youth Group. So the ASAP Youth Group, it's a group or a club that's in school. It's a student-based or a school student-based. So when I have, for example, I have a table and I have my resources on the table. I tell them, hey, I have this is a no quitting sign. in the school, okay? I'm teaching them. They will not come to me just to see the table, but if they will see a student next to me from the school with us on the table, that's actually asking them and telling them that we have, this is for example, stay away from drugs, stay away from cigarettes, no vaping. They will come to the students and say, oh yes, what are you doing here, right? So this is why we have the ASAP youth group. We have it at Dearborn High School, and we have it at Crestwood High School. Also the tobacco access, we have the tobacco screening and cessation services. And we refer them to the access clinic. So when the ladies, for example, or the moms, they come in, and we ask them, do you guys smoke? Is there anyone that smokes in the home? Do you need help quit smoking? If they say yes, we do refer them to the access clinic. Okay. Also, we do, as this one today, we do parent and student presentations to educate parents on how to, for the parents to educate their kids. Okay. This is, for example, this is one of the examples that we have. Okay, thank you so much. Do you guys have any questions? Okay, thank you so much.
HES Academies have been serving the Detroit metro area for over 23 years, promoting academic excellence, leadership, and cultural diversity, ranking as some of the top schools in the state of Michigan. Our pre-K through 12th grade students enjoy tuition-free, state-accredited education by STEM certified and highly qualified staff with no geographical restrictions, and with advanced placement, college dual enrollment, scholarship, and Arabic language programs. Noor International Academy in Sterling Heights at niapsa.org, Star International Academy in Dearborn Heights and in Canton at starpsa.org, Universal Academy in Detroit at universalpsa.org, and Universal Learning Academy in Westland at ulapsa.org. Join HES Academies today and enjoy a free Chromebook for every enrolled student.